kind of mamacation show. And Nicole is here.
Hi.
That's a Nicole intro. And tonight we are doing Missing. It's the sequel to the film Searching. Kind of the sequel. It's in like the same little world where the whole thing takes place on a laptop screen. It's that gimmick. It's been done before in a couple other movies, but I think Missing is, I don't know if it was the first one, but it's one of the better ones that I've seen. You guys have both seen Missing before, correct? The first one?
Yes, I distinctly remember the guy's, like, screaming voice being like, I have to find my daughter! Like, that's just stuck in my head.
He wasn't.
Well, I saw it, but I don't remember it.
I was so surprised when you told me you didn't remember that, because I remember you watching it at a certain scene in that one. You had like a body cringe. You went, oh, like. Bleh.
But I just feel like it's nothing that has to do with the movie. I just really am a forgetful person, so I don't think it was any fault to the movie.
I think if you watch a trailer, it would jog your memory.
Probably, yeah.
Of the original one, yeah. When her mother disappears while on vacation in Colombia with her new boyfriend, June's search for answers is hindered by international red tape. Stuck thousands of miles away in Los Angeles, June creatively uses all the latest technology at her fingertips to try and find her before it's too late. This has an 87% on Rotten Tomatoes, 90 with the audience, 7.1 IMDb, 66 Metacritic.
People love this kind of shit.
It's pretty well received. Although, have you ever seen those Unfriended movies? I've seen a couple of them, and those are not as well received, and they're the same kind of gimmick where it's all on a screen like this. But those
Which
are...
one is it?
The Unfriended movies.
I don't think so.
Yeah, everyone in those is I think Jess, you and I saw one together. Everyone... Oh yeah, you broke your water bottle. That was the one where you dropped your glass water bottle in the theater. And
oh my gosh.
that poor guy. Yeah. That was Unfriended
Jess
too.
brought her own water into the theater?
I bring my own everything into the theater.
I know.
You sometimes just bring yourself in without, anyway.
Yeah, when we saw Avatar, remember I brought McDonald's?
Oh, yeah, you had like a spread laid out when I got there. Like, you had everything.
Wait, when Brennan was keto, we used to bring in Burger King, and he would bring in a burger without the bun, so it came in like a clamshell packaging, and I would have to try to shove this fucking giant package into my purse. He would eat it with a fork and knife.
Yeah, I would eat a deconstructed Whopper without a bun, basically. And you could do it vegan too. You could just do it without the vegan and keto if you just did the. I don't know if that's both. Whatever, it doesn't matter. That's not about this movie. This is Missing, and if you haven't seen it, it was in theaters earlier this year in January. We all missed it though, because I don't know how we missed it. I mean, January we're usually doing other stuff anyway, top 5 show and all that. So, yeah, we missed it. But now it's on Netflix, which you should go watch it now before you don't have Netflix anymore, some of you who maybe share households, passwords across households. So, yeah, I know for some of us, Netflix might not be in the streaming rotation in the near future, but that's where it is right now. Go check it out before you don't have it anymore. And we're going to spoil it here now. So as I said, the whole thing takes place on a computer screen, just like the first film. And just like the first movie, we start with like a before. It's a family, and just like in the first one, a member of the family dies. In the original, it's the mom. She dies of cancer. And in this one, the dad is no longer around. And so they go to fast forward to the present day. It's mom and daughter, and the mom is going to Colombia with her new boyfriend. And the daughter's going to throw a party and hang out with everybody. But when she's going to go pick up the mom from the airport, they are not there. And so she's got to use the technology to find out what's going on. And just like the first one, it's a twisty-turvy. There's a lot of twists and turns in this film.
Oh my god, what are you trying to say?
There's a lot of twists and turns in this movie, and it's a mystery that you have to try to unravel with our protagonist through the computer screen using, like, phone calls and Apple Watches. Siri might play a role. So, who are we going to start with? Who wants to go first? I never ask. Does one of you want to go first?
Yeah, Jess will go first.
Okay,
sure.
Jess, what'd you think of Missing?
So when you told me the other day we're watching Missing, it's the sequel to Searching. I did not remember that the sequel came out, but when I started watching, like, the first 5 minutes, I was like, oh yeah, I remember that trailer, and I remember distinctly being like, yep, I'm gonna watch this, so thank you, Brennan, for reminding me to watch it. I wasn't sure how the two were related, if they were related at all, but it is a brand new movie and a brand new cast. I don't know why they don't call it Missing 2. They just use a synonym or whatever and call it Searching instead. I think that's a little bit funny. But I really enjoyed it. There were a lot of twists that I didn't see coming. Things that I kind of thought were going to happen, but some things I was like, whoa, I actually had no idea that was coming. I like the mom, I like the daughter, I like the cast is pretty fun, and I was never bored with this movie. I actually prefer watching it at home because I could read everything on the screen, since it's kind of like your screen sharing on the computer, and I remember one of the things I didn't like from the first movie is you have to read text messages, read things on the computer, and that's kind of hard to do on a large screen because it was a little more fuzzy. But watching it at home on your TV, you could actually read through everything that's going on.
Yeah, I tend to find these movies, fun to watch. They're modern, and relatable because we all use these devices and apps and whatnot. So I can definitely see the appeal. I also found it to be twisty and turny, but also at the same time, yeah. Also at the same time, it is what's the word I'm trying to say? You know what's going to happen.
Predictable.
Predictable. Predictable. Thank you, but not in a bad way. Like, okay, we know there's going to be a twist, but we just don't quite know who the twist is coming from or whatever. So I do like that part of it. I was kind of getting into that whodunit feeling when we were about halfway through, and I was trying to remember all the people that we've talked to and who we spoke to throughout the first part of the movie. So I did like all that. I think it's a little far-fetched. Some of the things. Yeah,
you don't think that you're gonna befriend a Javi or something?
Yeah, a Colombian Uber driver.
The least believable thing about this movie was that guy only had 2.83 stars out of 5. I'm like, this guy is doing. This guy's very helpful. 5 out of 5, Javi. Come on.
And we know she's only got $64 left, and that guy's at $8 an hour. So I don't know how she got him for 3 days, but he must have been really kind. But yeah, putting that aside and realizing how goofy that is, and the embassy worker, how matter of fact he is, like, I don't know, that I feel like he would show a little more compassion to a young girl. So that kind of stuff's a little funny. But it doesn't detract from watching the movie and trying to solve the mystery. I think the ending is not my favorite, and it's unfortunate because I think they lead up to a good part, like a good setup, but then it kind of putzes out. So I'm curious to hear what everyone else thinks about the ending. But overall, I did enjoy this, and there was a couple heart-racing moments for me, too.
Oh, heart-racing. Yeah, no, I like this a lot. This is not quite as good as Missing Searching. I keep messing up the titles, but not quite as good as the original one, but it's still quite good. This one's a little less believable at times, and I don't think the highs are quite as high, but it's more consistent throughout. Like, I don't think I'm ever bored with this. It's like keeping me along, and it's a little longer than you'd think. It's like an hour 50. Like, usually these kind of movies are like an hour 30, and I don't know. I didn't think it really dragged that much. I think all the parts were well used, and all the characters get used well. We get 7 or 8 characters, and I got fooled consistently in this movie. I did not guess the final twist. I didn't guess a couple of the middle twists. That's what I liked about the first one too, is that there were several middle twists before you got to the end, and it did a good job at keeping it all going. And what I also like about these is just the general use of the technology. I like in this one we at times we're on the big screen is like an Apple Watch screen, and we do like security cameras, and there's times when like two characters will be talking and you'll see both of them, one from like a weird like camera angle from like a Ring doorbell, and then the other from the laptop. I just like all the inventiveness. It kind of reminds me of like the Creep movies, where like those are like really inventive found footage movies where they could be super lazy and terrible, but they actually like take care. It's the same kind of thing here, where like you'd think like, oh, it's just cheap to put something on like a laptop screen and like film it like that and like make it like found footagey and it's like a gimmick. But no, they actually use the technology to make the movie more interesting and make it stand out. This is a really good movie. I'm glad you guys also liked it. But I want to know, how much did you guys guess? Nicole, I know you said it was predictable, but I know you didn't guess the ending. You mean just predictable in that obviously there's going to be twists, but like I just don't know what the twists are going to be.
Yeah, I guess that's what I mean. I'm not good at guessing what's going to happen. I'm usually wrong. Someone like my mom is very good at guessing them, and she's always right. When I was younger, she used to say what was going to happen, and I would get so pissed off because I wanted to be the one to guess it. But she always knew.
You do also try to always figure it out, even when and you get mad. You start getting mad at the movie when you can't figure it out. I notice.
Yeah, I just want to know.
I'm like, just watch it. The movie will tell you in time. Just watch it.
But I want to know ahead of time. I don't like surprises. So predictable in the sense that I guess I just fell into the trap that I know this movie's going to have twists and turns, and I was like, into it, and I'm kind of mad that I was so into it because it's corny. But no, I don't. It did, and I don't think that much of this was predictable in what was actually going to happen. So yeah, I don't think that I would have guessed.
Did you buy in, Jess?
So from the early videos of the dad, I knew that something was off with him because it just made him seem so creepy. And that nosebleed, really? I think we all kind of knew, like, all right, he's on drugs or something like that. That's just weird. But I never thought
I didn't see that coming at all. I was totally.
You thought it was a genuine nosebleed?
I didn't think. I thought he was sick, like cancer. Like I totally bought hook, line, and sinker at the beginning that he's dead, and I just believed that,
He just came off like so creepy looking. Like that's why I kind of like thought drugs.
Good on you for figuring it out.
But I didn't think he was going to come back. Like, I thought he just genuinely did die. So, that was a good twist.
Huh. You're with me, Nicole, right? You thought, you didn't even think, like, because the way they played it at the beginning, they play it with, like, the sad music, and you move in the thing to the folder, and you get all the phone calls. Oh, I'm so sorry that you're going through this. But they never actually specifically say, like, oh, sorry, he died, or whatever. So I don't know. Like I thought.
No, I didn't. I didn't see any other thing behind it. I just took it for what it was.
Did you guys trust? So let's go through our cast of suspects / helping characters. June is our main character, Storm Reed, also known as the girl from frickin' Wrinkle in Time, one of my least favorite Disney movies ever.
Oh, I knew she looked familiar, but I forgot to see where she was from.
She's all over the YA scene, but you know what? I really like her in this. I think she's a good protagonist in this. And surrounding her, we've got Javi, who is our Fiverr guy in Colombia, who's helping us out down there. Kevin, the boyfriend, who's got a past. Heather, the lawyer. The church Jimmy. Agent Park. The mom is Grace Allen, or is she? Am I missing anyone? The friend, right?
Yeah, two friends. The one that comes over all the time, and the other one that lost the watch.
Oh, yep. There's the watch friend, and then the best friend. So, just off the bat, who are you thinking off the bat? Because I'm like trying to figure out what's going on, and I'm thinking
Heather.
Heather
was sus the entire time. Like I knew.
I was thinking Heather
was
too.
Up to something. She wasn't even, like, a good actress in general. I think they could have chosen a different person because I think she was just bad.
Shade. Amy Landecker, I've seen her in other things. She's in, like, dramas and stuff. She's in Amazon Prime show, I think. Yeah. And Jaren the nurse from old.
Yeah. My suspicions lie with the church Jimmy, So I think I was maybe the most right.
Good job.
Okay. Didn't know that he was going to be Church Jimmy though, so that was surprising. But I didn't expect that the boyfriend was going to be kind of just like the wingman, the hitman, whatever you want to call him. Like he was bought in to do this. I thought he had more to do with it. I mean, I don't know if he told him what was going on, but whatever. But I thought the biggest suspect, honestly, was the Colombian U.S. Embassy guy.
Oh, really?
Agent Park.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know what was going to go on. I don't know if I thought it was maybe like drug cartel situation, and he was trying. They were in it or something. But yeah, he was really. I said it earlier. He talked to her so weird that nobody would talk to a 17-year-old girl this way.
I kind of agree with Nicole. I think he seemed like he was concealing something when he was talking to her.
Yeah.
I think that's on purpose, though, too, because if you remember in the first one, the bad guy... Spoilers for the first one, if you haven't seen that one. The bad guy in that one is a cop, like the cop that's helping the whole time. So if they had done that, that would have been like, oh, you did the exact same movie again? Like, you just did, like, literally... Like, it would have been like, oh, you switched, instead of the dad looking for the daughter, now it's the daughter looking for the mom. But, like, you just switched that, and then the cop is still the bad guy. Yeah, it would be.
I didn't remember what that was about, so I wouldn't have connected the dots.
Maybe that's what they were doing, though, is making that guy seem a little weird, so you can be like, oh, maybe just like in the first one. Oh, maybe that's a clue. Given don't trust the authority figures.
And they really did a good job in the movie of making the mom seem like she was a suspect for something with the name change and whatnot. But as we get into it further, I like how the pieces fell into place, and we're like, oh, that's why she changed her name, and that was a good twist.
So there's a lot of twist reveals in this. Does anyone? What's everyone's favorite? Because I'm thinking right now, I'm like, wow, you could probably do like a top 5. Like, there's a lot of different little like, oh, that's a piece of information. What one worked the best? Or like, best.
So I thought the one that was most unbelievable was the pictures of that girl from the bar, like, trying to act like the mom. Like, of course they've got, like, the same, like, skin color, same body, same hair, but I would think you know your mom well enough to see a side profile and be like, yeah, that's not her, that's another woman. So, I didn't believe that she saw those pictures of just, like, even, like, your mom's hand, like, you, with a drink, like, you'd be like, that's not my mom's hand, that's someone else.
True.
That's like, true. I would, yeah, and so would the average person. But did you, as a viewer, realize that?
No, but like, yeah, but the daughter should have been like, "That's not my mom's hair. That's not my mom's hands. My mom doesn't wear those clothes." Like, she should have known that from the picture. It's pretty straight on.
Her strength is the password hacking. Her weakness is identifying her mother's features.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the better question is what didn't work, because I mean, it's all kind of like fun and fine, but the thing that I didn't like was, well, first off, the huge elephant in the room is the Javier thing. That would not fucking work, okay? It would just not work. It would not be possible.
But she reminded him of his son, and they have their own struggle.
I don't care.
Yeah, they need a little bit of that or something.
Yeah, otherwise it wouldn't be believable, so.
But, yeah, I mean, that just wouldn't work. But besides that, the thing that I didn't like was the WhatsApp situation with Heather. I wasn't quite understanding why Heather was talking to the boyfriend in that way if she didn't have more to do with it. They really lost me during that whole
and like
WhatsApp
the encrypted
like anonymous person chat where she was like, "Are you home?" And she was like, "No, I'm working." Why? But like, why were they talking to each other on a private chat line?
Yeah,
I get why he asked, but why were they doing that to begin with?
Well, I think she was doing her own side thing to try to get her This is what I was able to gather, and I watched it twice, so maybe that helped. But because on the first time I was also confused on that scene some. I wasn't following what was going on there. So on the second view, I think that she's doing like her own side thing because she is one of the few people who knows about Grace's past. She knows that Grace is was changed her name and witness protection or whatever. So I think she's trying to contact the boyfriend, the boyfriend in Columbia this whole time, and she's running her own side thing. Because then when June gets to the place and it's broken into and we find her dead, on her desk everything's getting wiped out, and she has papers and stuff on the desk, and some of it's threatening papers from the guy, but then other stuff is stuff circled and looks like she's looking something up. So I think the whole time Heather was doing her own June thing, where she's doing her own passwords, looking stuff up. But I think it's so barely dropped that I also did not get it the first time. I think only on the second time I was looking around the screen a little more and kind of picking up extra pieces.
Well, yeah, they did do a good job of having us suspect Heather was in on it more by having having the laptop erased. So
I know
that was a good twist.
I don't know how June just openly accepted that Heather was trying to help. If I saw that shit, I'd be like, oh, Heather is on the other side.
Yeah.
Because somewhere in the movie, someone asked, how do they meet or something, and then June is like, oh, Heather thought he was cute. So you kind of think, before we saw the dating apps and stuff, we kind of thought Heather was the one that kind of matched those two together, so it seemed like she wanted this to happen for whatever reason.
Yeah, I think that's what it seems like to us watching before Heather is found dead. But I think once that happens, and then later on, I think at one point when they're doing a flashback thing, they show a younger picture of Heather, showing that she was actually on the mom's side all along and helping her this whole time. I think that's supposed to be a reveal that oh, she was being secretive and weird because she was helping to cover up the mom the whole time. So it doesn't totally come through, but I think that's what they were going for.
Yeah, that's a little shaky. The sentiment is there, but it's not the best.
The reveal is good though when the number gets copied and then she puts it in the thing and she hovers over it real quick and then you just see the picture pop up. That was the same kind of thing. That's the same kind of thing from the first one, Nicole. That you don't remember it, but that same kind of thing happened where it was a stock photo of a girl that was pretending to be a friend of the daughter. And then when John Cho is giving up and they're putting in the obituary and a funeral service, and he clicks an email and closes it out, and then a spam email pops up or something, and it's the picture of the friend because it's just some stock photo girl. And so you see it, you're like, oh shit, why is she there in this random ad all of a sudden? And then it reopens. I love that's the clever things of using the screen. That's why I said earlier, the Apple Watch and other kind of stuff like that. I just love the clever use of screen sharing to show something cinematically.
I hated everything about that watch.
Yeah, I know. I have a question. What is this Google tracking thing that she has or finds, and should I be concerned if someone could easily track my every step on my Google account? I know she signed in their Google ID and stuff, but I have never seen a Google tracking system like that before, and do I have that turned on?
I have not looked up the details, but I mean, my guess is that probably exists, and if you maybe is my answer. I don't know the details, but that's totally feasible that technology exists right now on your phone and you don't know about it.
Because you can Google a place and it said most visited place. If I Google a place, would it my favorite restaurant? Would it be oh, I visit here a lot? Would it know that?
Oh yeah, 100% would. Yeah, it will. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I need to find this setting and turn it off.
It's not just a setting. It's everything. And Nicole noticed it too. Where you're looking at something on one screen and then another screen in your house if something pops up, or you search something on Google on your work laptop, and how does my phone know that? And then how does my TV know that? It's all connected.
I get it's connected, but where can you actually see the data? I thought it was connected just because, Google does that stuff, but where can you see as a user all that stuff connected?
I don't know. If you're listening to this right now, you could probably Google how to do tracker app on my phone. You can probably download an app and track. That's basically what she did every time she came across a problem. She basically just Googled it, downloaded an app, and then she started using it to solve the problem, which I kind of like. I'm just that's what the younger people do whenever they have a problem. They just, all right, let me Google the app to fix it, and then I will do that. And then you can go and track Jess down and find whatever she's doing. That she's apparently concerned about people finding out where she is. I'm trying to think. So the big twist is the dad is the bad guy. He was not dead. He was sent to jail. I like the cleverness too of like she looks up the law of bad like domestic violence or whatever, and it's like up to a year in prison. And then she looks up like the law for like possession of drugs, and it's like 10 to 20 years. So she just calls in his drugs and then gets him to go to jail more for that. I just love it. It's a little extra added touch. But
yeah, I missed all that. I don't know what you're talking about.
You didn't realize that once it's kind of showing the mom's flashback, and when it goes to like the older computer screen, it shows like old internet, like how it looked in like 2008 or whatever. And she's like Googling like how to deal with domestic abuse and like how to, like all that kind of stuff. And she's Googling like how long the prison sentence is, and it's only a year. But if she gets him convicted of drug possession, then he'll go away for 10 to 20 years. So it's just like it's crazy that like domestic. That's the whole point of that. Domestic abuse will get you a year in prison, and then having drugs on you will get you, in this case, 12. Yeah. Anyway, so did you guys didn't see that coming? Nicole, you said the ending kind of fell a little flat. What do you mean by that?
I actually thought it was really quite lame.
Quite lame.
Yeah, I mean, the whole kidnapping situation and bringing them into the room that they were in before in their old house. I thought they moved to Los Angeles. I don't know where they were from originally, but he would have had to take them far. She left her friends and family, so I don't really quite get how they're back in that room.
I think it's implied they drove 5.
They drove? It's all the same night.
Yeah.
She took plane tickets to the place that she was leaving to.
No, I mean, she drove, I think it was from LA to like Vegas. I think it was somewhere in Nevada.
Oh.
You could do that in a night.
Well, she didn't really move very far then in the first place, but
I guess not.
Yeah, I mean, the computer stayed on 5% for way longer than any piece of technology I've ever had, so that didn't make any sense to me either. No, I didn't like any of the situation with the dad, and the acting got really bad after they both got shot, like or stabbed, really, really bad. The mom was like annoying.
The mom was not quite right. She was like, I was like, no, I don't think he'd be like, yeah. I'm fading off into the night. Like, the dad was stabbed in the neck, and he was like stumbling around, going to, like, I don't know. I kind of bought that.
Yeah, I didn't like how it ended. I didn't like that they were kidnapped and
you didn't like
she was in this
the Siri bit?
Barn.
I thought the Siri bit was pretty good.
And I didn't like the Siri bit either. I thought that was really lame.
Jess, you had to like the Siri bit. Come on, you got to be with me on that.
And they became closer than ever, like 6 months later or whatever. Now they're like best friends.
The bit with Siri where she uses Siri to call the cops on the phone. Or on the phone that she left through the computer.
Oh my god. We didn't even get to the point where how she got the fucking house number. Had the guy in Colombia check her Instagram.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
They had to make it, and she had to apologize
to him.
She had to apologize to him because she said you were not a good father, but then she said actually you were. You did not give him money. So please help
and
me
now can you do me another favor?
Yeah. You see, you never sent me my $8.
Yeah.
But we see at the end.
Oh my god.
We see at the end he's reconciled with his son. So and he adds the mom on Facebook. Maybe they'll get together now that Sharon is dead.
Oh yeah, maybe in the third movie they'll get together and someone else goes missing.
Well, what do you call those? We got missing, searching. What's the next? Finding.
Yeah.
If it ain't broke, hey, these are 2 pretty good movies. So if it ain't broke, keep it rolling.
Imagine watching this movie like 10 years from now, and we're like, "Oh God, this technology is so old! Like, I can't believe we're doing this." Like, do you remember when we texted like that, or do you remember when we had this kind of watches?
I mean, the whole thing is like, it's also like a proximity, like, because I don't know, maybe people do, maybe younger people do, but like, I've never used my laptop in this way where like, I always have like all my messages and all my stuff all hooked up. Like, I still keep my technology pretty segregated and off, and like,
oh yeah, I don't do that either.
I don't have all my stuff just,
If I used the MacBook, I might be like that. But
is that how people with MacBooks like use it?
Yeah, like I have my iPad and my messages are up and stuff like that, so I can see that.
Yeah, I don't know. Where it's just like, it seems so constant, like everything's just like always. I don't know. Maybe that is how some people use their tech. I guess I'm old now. We've become old now. Anything else for missing? Any other bits and bobs? Any other twists and turns and twaddles and tweedles?
I don't think so.
Did you see? They never left. She never left L.A. It's pretty good. Pretty good twist. A lot of twists. Nicole, almost M90. Nicole, do you recommend Missing?
Oh yeah, sure. That's fun.
That's enthusiastic. Jess, Missing?
I'll be a little bit more enthusiastic. I think it was a pretty fun watch. You're not going to get bored. It's one of those movies that you enjoyed watching at the end and makes you think a little bit more, I guess.
And I'm going to go a little more enthusiastic than that. So yeah, go watch Missing. I think it's 4 to 5 stars for me. I really like this. It's a slightly over the top and unbelievable. It's a slight step down from the last one, but it's very, they use the premise really well, and it's constantly entertaining for its hour 50, and it's got a lot of good twists. So, and it's still cheesy too, and I kind of like that. So it's got everything I look for. 3 recommends of varying degrees for Missing. So we'll keep doing this series. Sounds like we found another winner, so that's good. And coming up, what's coming up? Summer movies aren't really usually our bag, but I'm sure we'll watch a couple of them. If you have anything to recommend to us specifically, though, maybe we don't have to do the big stuff. Maybe we can do something else. Films with the Women in My Life on Facebook. Reach out to me on Instagram. I'm Brennan_podhost. And you can email the show, filmswiththewomen@gmail.com. Thank you guys for being on Missing.
Yeah, again, thank you for reminding me, because if you didn't remind me to watch this, it would have been one of those movies I probably never would think of again, or never
there you go.
know what it
and now,
so thank you.
See, this is going to be your number 5 of the year. I can already feel it. It feels like the perfect just number 5 of the year kind of end of the year thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Well, there you go. Till next time, this is Brennan signing off, saying thanks for listening and enjoy your movies.
Thanks for listening to Films with the Women in My Life. If you enjoyed being a listener in our life, please rate and subscribe on Apple Podcasts or on your favorite podcast app. Keep up with the latest from the show on Instagram at Brennan_podhost, on Facebook at Films with the Women in My Life, and on Twitter at FilmsWomenPod. Finally, you can email the show with questions and suggestions at filmswiththewomen@gmail.com. Original music for the show was created by Ian Burke and Chris Iwanek. Original artwork created by Nicole D'Alessio. This show is produced by Brennan Snyder. Thank you again for listening, and enjoy your movies.